Okay, so for this morning's post, I thought we'd look at what makes a good writer if you're looking to bring somebody in full-time or you're looking for a consultant to write for you. What should you be looking for in that person? And in my experience of being a professional writer myself for over 20 years and having employed many writers, and we have a good writing team at Polaris now, what are you looking for? And I break it down to a criteria ACE: accurate, conviction, education. First of all, education. You want your writer to ideally have a National Council for the Training of Journalists qualification, so they've been to journalist college and they've spent at least a couple of years at journalist college, in newspapers, learning their craft, having their copy thrown back at them, having to write about all manner of stories, bearing in mind that the exciting stories tell themselves, the best stories tell themselves. So how good is your writer at writing the more mundane material? That's a good sign of how good they are. And you want your writer ideally to have written thousands, and I mean thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of words before they come and sit in your business or work for you. So education is really important, and I've learnt my lesson when people have told me that they can write and we've brought them in and they don't have the NCTJ qualification. It's evident very quickly that they just can't write to the level that we need. Secondly, conviction. And it's like Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones said about playing guitar, and what advice would you give young people playing guitar? Play with feeling. And it is the same with writing. You want to look for, when you're examining the copy, reading the copy that this writer is producing, does it fizz off the page? Is it crisp? Is it punchy? Is it written with conviction? Because if it isn't, it's a warning sign. Again, the best copy writes itself. So with the more mundane, the more challenging, the more complex, how good is the writer at interpreting that and putting it over? Because they've got to sell you. If they can't sell you, if they're underselling you, if they're not doing you justice, that's a big problem. On the positive side, if they are writing in a way that brings your story alive, and I often think of this when I'm working with our client Camel Laird, it's such an iconic business, but you've got to, the challenge sometimes is to make sure that you do them justice. This is a 200-year-old business that has achieved true greatness, and we can't undersell that. So conviction is extremely important in any writer. And finally, accuracy, an easy one really. If the copy is sloppy and contains errors and missing words and spelling errors, and this is a consistent issue and there's lots of them, then either the writer is not up to it, or they don't have the time or the inclination to be up to it, in which case they're lazy, and there's plenty of them around. So an accurate writer is worth their weight in gold. If they can produce tight copy, they can help you proofread other copy, it shows that they care. So that's my criteria: ACE, accurate, conviction, education.